Fundraiser coming up May 5th. Sounds like a lot of fun, if you're into style shows, I guess. Absolutely. It's coming up on May 5th. I'm guessing, just guessing, you don't have a lot of guys there, Pat Rice.
Actually, we have a 5-month-old guy that's going to be one of our models.
A 5-month-old guy. Well, He won't know. Donna Crowell's with us as well.
Good morning, Gordy. Good morning, listeners.
You must be a volunteer at Alina because I see you're wearing your vest today.
Yes, I am. When I leave here, I'm going right to Angel's Attic, our fabulous gift shop.
Oh, it is. I was sharing with you ladies how my mom's last gift was an angel bear. She collected angels and bears, and this was a bear with wings on it, so it was incredible. It lit up her face, and that's all I wanted was to light up her face.
Yeah, we've had so many compliments on the shop and people coming in, and they've added more clothing items and purses and things, and I think Joyce Hugenacker, who's our gift shop manager, does a fabulous job at picking stuff, and we get many people who are regular customers now coming in.
Yeah.
And we will have clothing from Angel's Attic as part of the style show.
Okay, the Auxilian Advocates for Health. I'm not going to bore people by reading the mission statement. Maybe you guys can highlight what you do.
Well, basically, we fill in some needs that are not met, and all the thing when we're like the money that we're using on this one is going to go for unmet needs for kids who can't afford medications, and then also for some scholarships. And we have all the stuff that we do has something to do with patient care. Like we purchased all the robes. If you go to the hospital, you get a robe. That's purchased by the auxiliary. We've purchased televisions. We've purchased toy items. We have gotten wish lists, or we get requests from staff in the hospital, and then we try to meet those needs as we're able to.
This event is at the Faribault American Legion, when I emphasize that.
Yes, it's at the American Legion, and it's, we hadn't had a style show for a long time. Even in town, we hadn't noticed a lot. So we thought, well, this would be an opportunity to not only highlight our clothing that we have from the gift shop itself, but there's going to be Christopher and Banks, Weddings by Deb, which is here in town. We're going to have the Dress Barn, the Mainstream Boutique, and then we have 2 home sale groups, LuLaRoe and Cabby. So they will be bringing items there. So if people are interested in buying items, they can buy some of the things. I think Angel's Attic will also have some of their items that they can really buy after the style show itself. And, of course, it's a luncheon. And mainly, again, to make money to help the hospital auxiliary and some of the things, their mission that they do at the hospital.
Social hours at 11. This is on Saturday, May 5th. And then the style show begins at noon. Along with you can eat while you're watching.
You look at items.
Right. And I just want to emphasize how important, to me personally, this particular fundraiser is. The Pharmacy Hardship Program really benefits so many of my former students. When I was a teacher, if you have a child in your classroom that is allergic to bees and they just can't afford to have, maybe their parents have switched jobs and they're not on the new insurance yet, and you want to make sure you have an EpiPen there, this particular program helps with that. It's just such a key thing, and I really want to be involved with this particular project because it affects so many people in my profession and so many children in our community.
Yeah, and those EpiPens have gone way up.
So many of the pharmacy costs have really risen, and there's just a lot of people that can't afford to, for instance, have one at home, at school. I mean, that's pretty tough. So if you could come out and support something like this, and even if you can't come to this particular event, we certainly would welcome any donation that you could make at Angel's Attic for the Pharmacy Hardship Program.
All right. We're going to visit more with the ladies about this event and about the Auxilian Advocates for Health and all they do at District 1 Hospital here in Faribault. This organization was around before Alina took over the hospital. We'll talk about that when AM Minnesota continues. Anyway, Pat Rice is with us. Donna Crowell is with us. We had a phone call during the break, ladies. You want to
someone had called
educate our listeners about that?
They were wanting our shop to be open on the weekend, and that has also been a goal for us. Unfortunately, now that door is not open. You have to come in the emergency room entrance. So I'm not sure if that, we'll certainly consider it with the hospital, with our board for the auxiliary, but it's been a problem, and it's also locked after 6 o'clock at night. So you come in the emergency room exit instead, but it's not that we wouldn't want to. And also it's a matter of getting enough volunteers to staff it.
Well,
and speaking of that, we always welcome more members to the hospital auxiliary, and especially anyone that can volunteer at the hospital. There's always needs, whether it's in the Angel's Attic gift shop or in the cancer center or at the front desk, or even we have some working in the Alina front desk. So if you have any interest in helping in your community that way, we welcome. Please contact anyone at Angel's Attic or at District 1 Hospital, and we would gladly help you work out and become one of those needed volunteers.
I'm going to guess you do background checks and that sort of thing. I mean, you got people handling money in your gift shop. You don't want somebody who has a record for stealing or something.
Basically, they're more concerned about health issues, that we all have had enough vaccinations and everything like that. We have less stringent on people that are in the gift shop than are on the floor and stuff, in terms of things they have to be. They're very careful about the patient care and making sure that you can be in there.
Also with that, you don't just start volunteering someplace. You're going to need to go through an orientation so that you know when you have, like you can see I have my badge on.
Right.
You need to have that badge. At the back side of it has the emergency codes so that if you are forgetful of something that's happening at the hospital, that's right there. So that, again, as Pat mentioned, safety and health concerns with patients is the number one concern there. As far as you need to work with someone, you need to shadow someone before you would ever just be that volunteer. They're not going to drop you into something that you're not ready to do.
Yeah.
And we have about at least 2 trainings a year that are mandatory, and they would deal with stuff like some of the diseases that come through about hand washing, security issues. So we're not left out there floating. There's training that we have, which I'm glad for.
So just to clarify something, Angel's Attic gift shop at District 1 is not open after 6 at night?
Actually, they close at 5:30. It's been 5 now.
9 to 5.
9 to 5. And they may or may not shorten the hours, but we, if the caller may have wanted an evening one, but right now it's not open.
The door that goes into the hospital is how you get into Angel's Attic. I know there's been some discussion, too, of having the doorway differently, and if that would happen, then again, hours would change. But right now, it works because of 9 to 5 with being able to staff it with volunteers, because it is staffed with volunteers. There's only one part-time paid employee for the entire shop, and Joyce does a fabulous job on the little amount of time that she's hired to work there.
But you come through the ER, you said.
Well, on evenings and weekends you come through the ER, but during our regular hours you just come through the regular door. And that was a decision made by Alina.
Our doorway is in the same hallway as the pharmacy.
Right.
And considered the link that connects you over to Alina Clinic. But you come in the main hospital door there, and if you go to the right, you'd go to the pharmacy. If you go to the left, you're going into the hospital, and we're immediately to your left.
Yep.
But that doorway is in the hallway.
And they'd have to staff it security-wise, I think. That's probably why they...
Absolutely. But we're here today to talk about that style show.
Yes. May the 5th is the style show.
Yep.
Right. And we really want to emphasize that it's so important to get those tickets soon. We want those tickets to be purchased by this Friday, the April 20th, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And probably the easiest way, if you don't know someone who's on the hospital or auxiliary board, is to either call or come into Angel's Attic and, talk to your neighbors, talk to some friends, and see if this wouldn't be a fun activity for you on Saturday, May 5th. If, show your support to this community. Such an easy, fun way to support the hospital and this good cause.
And you can call the hospital. The number there is 331-5072. Again, 331-5072. And you can pay by credit card over the phone. So your ticket would be paid for, or you can run up to the gift shop and purchase it there. And I'm sure some of us members might have a ticket at, maybe through next Tuesday or something. But really the deadline, it's because the Legion wants a count for the numbers that we have.
Sure, of course.
And so we think this is going to be a nice event and a nice place, and we'll not only have some great fashions. I think we have 14 models. So we have a lot of people that will be coming out and showing items from all the places. And hot items this year we hear are jean jackets and coral colored. So several of the places wanted coral. We don't want to inundate people with that. So it's going to be a balanced approach to the items that they're going to see in the show itself. And there's also going to be a small silent auction, again, because this is a fundraiser, and the better we do, the better we can assist the hospital in their things. But some small things with that. And again, we wanted to emphasize that, you can purchase some of the items from some of the home show people that do that. And I don't think that's a usual thing at a style show.
Right, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I know that all of these vendors that are supporting us with us, they're trying to put out some of their best items that they have, and it'll give you a good idea of what is current in fashions, and just kind of a fun way to support your community.
I want to thank Joanna Ostrom has been coordinated from our auxiliary board. Done really a nice job, and of course all of us are playing some kind of a role with it, but she's taken most of it on her shoulders and told us what we could do to help her.
The event, again, May 5th at the Faribault American Legion. What's on the menu?
It's a chicken salad luncheon,
Okay.
And then we're going to have special cupcakes. And so we're, I think it'll be a nice time. And, the best thing is call a friend up and say, let's go. I'm sure you'll know most of the people that are there, and that makes the fun part of it. And I like that the Legion has kind of round tables, so it really promotes discussion and some fun talking anyway.
So judging from the people that are bringing items for the style show, this is for all ages, too. You got young ladies as well as...
And sizes.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing because you like to see different things, and we wanted to not just have Faribault people. So we have somebody from Northfield, we have some people that are from the Outlet Mall, and so from around the area anyway, so people can go and find stuff. And of course we want them to shop at Angel's Attic because we think, actually a lot of people have said, you guys are the nicest clothing store right now. And so they find a lot of things that are there, even though we have limited stuff. So we don't have like 8 tops of the same color, so you're not going to see yourself coming and going in town.
Right. Well, you don't have a lot of space there in the attic. It's amazing what you do have in there.
Yeah, exactly. And Joyce does such a good job. I'll say, oh, this is new. She said, no, I moved it from over there. And so that's part of retail business, is moving things around so that people can see them and know actually what you do have. And more people come in and say, oh, I'm just stopping because I got to see what you have now because I know it's changed.
And I think sometimes we forget how fashions affect us mentally. You hear dress for success. Well, dress for a feeling of success, dress for fun, dress to support your community. So there's lots of issues with that. And again, we encourage you to get those tickets at the hospital gift shop by calling into that number. And that number again is 507-331-5072. Call and you can reserve that ticket with your credit card.
$25 is the ticket.
$25, right? So we hope to make a good amount of it off beyond the luncheon with it. And so that's going to be a good thing for us as the auxiliary. And again, none of us keep any of that money. It all goes back into the hospital and the activities of the hospital. And we're just pleased to help out with that. And to kind of piggyback on something Donna said, I had a friend that said, oh gosh, he happened to be an immigrant in our community, and he could not afford the asthma medication for his child. And I said, gosh, you can go up to the hospital and the auxiliary will pay for it. And if you contact your school nurses, too, they will direct you there. And it's all administered at the pharmacy at the hospital. He had his medication that day. He was so grateful because his kid was hacking and coughing, and he just didn't have the money.
Right.
And, I mean, it was. I felt so good about it, being able to send him up there to know that this kid was not going to go without something.
In addition to the pharmacy hardship, your proceeds are going to nursing scholarships as well.
Correct. We've always been supportive of that, and I think that's been part of the wish list for years, that we give a portion of our money that we make each year to the nursing scholarships.
And we just do some other things. Just the other day at our board meeting, we approved buying kind of touchy-feely stuff for the emergency room because there are kids that come in there that maybe are waiting for things, and so we spent, I don't know, what was it, $300 or something buying things that would last for the year for them. Because, again, with hospital stuff, we also have a bookshelf that we have supplied, and we encourage them to take them home because once you're really been touching some item like that. They don't want our germs on it, and so they are giving them to the kids, and so they can take them home. The same with the books that we've purchased and put in the hospital, and that's been a nice thing, having our little bookshelf there.
Yeah. They have a list here of all the things that you donated in 2017: furnishings for the new emergency department, device charging stations. I think we talked about this last year,
Probably.
so might have added some more. Reclining chairs for overnight guests, televisions, infusion chair, rocking chair and equipment for the birth center, a scale for surgical services, pediatric gifts and toys, and head wraps for patients receiving chemotherapy.
Yeah, I mean, that's substantial stuff, and it all relates back to patient care. Even the art stuff that we have an art display that happens in the hospital, and that's gone back to some research that shows if you're at the hospital and you have a pleasant place to be, your chances of getting better are increased.
Yep, even the color schemes. There's research as to what colors you need in a hospital.
Yeah, all of the above. And what a nice way to help support and make Faribault community stronger.
Yeah, I've been pleased to be part of it. I started back more than 30 years ago, I think. And the gift shop was so different then. It was more trinkets and doodads. And now it's the color scheme is totally different. And our space is a little bigger. And so it's nice that we have what we have, although we're smaller than a lot of shops. But I think if I go to a hospital, I always want to stop in their gift shop.
Well, that's because you work in one.
Oh, yeah, and you never know what they have.
Well, and actually, I can remember I had to go to South Dakota and be in the hospital with my parents at various times. And if it wasn't for a hospital gift shop, I wouldn't have been able to get that birthday card or that get well card. We have balloons. We have always nice flowers. Those are things that, you stop in quick and that you can pick up in the gift shop, really serve as a service back to your angel bear. It's what a great service to the community and to our patients. All that, patient care. That's our emphasis.
You'd be surprised how many people just come in there to spend some time because they have somebody in surgery or someplace else in the hospital, and they just want to come in and talk for a bit. It's fun when it's a baby. Because both sets of grandparents will come in, and aunts and uncles, and they're so excited to just talk about it. And it was really cute. A dad came in, and this was his second family. So he's in his maybe late 40s having this new baby, and he bought her, there was a little black dress for a baby. He said, I just have to buy this. I'm not going to tell my wife. And bought it for his little baby. He was just so excited about it. That was just really neat to be able to accommodate something that was a need for him.
And also just the coffee. We have Starbucks coffee there, and it's people really appreciate that $1 cup of coffee. It's easy. Stop in, pick it up, and then go on their way. And again, we like providing that service for our patients and for their visitors.
In Pat Rice, Donna Crowler with us today on AM Minnesota. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the High Flyers Banquet, which is this Saturday, also at the Faribault American Legion. Boy, is that a busy place. Just think of where we'd be in this town if we didn't have the Legion.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been very nice to deal with us for this event.
Yeah, they're great to work with.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful space and good parking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also wanted to thank along with it Thrivent Financial. We have an action team, and so they've supported us $250 because we have a lot of pre-expenses, the printing expenses and some of the food expenses and table decorations and stuff like that. So Thrivent came through with an action team card for us, which we're really pleased to have.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm a Thrivent member, so.
Me too.
Yes. Do you use your card during the year to get?
Oh, yeah.
You can get $250 events, and I know Donna, the three of us have brought a lot of money into town from Thrivent.
Yeah, it's a great way to invest, and the reason I love it is you're helping others in the process.
Exactly. Again, to thank those vendors that are helping us. Angel's Attic will have clothing there. Christopher and Banks, Dress Barn, LuLaRue, Mainstream Boutique, Stephanie Nelson's Cabby Stylist, and Weddings by Deb Bridal Shop. Thank you to these vendors that help support our community.
Yeah, there's got to be something that anybody who comes could like. I mean, and just seeing it, and I haven't been to a style show, I would guess, for over 15 years, if I think about it.
Wow.
There have not been that many in town. And I think this is a nice opportunity to get out for, just a short period of time. It'll probably be, 2-3 hours maximum.
So what did you do for a fundraiser last year?
Well, we have had the wine tasting party before and beer, and so we were just kind of looking at something different that we might be able to do.
Now, you were a pillow cleaning before you came here, right?
Yes, that's today at First English Lutheran Church. People can come up and bring their pillows and have them cleaned. And this Carlson Pillow Cleaning out of Wilmer, they do just a great job. And it's funny, you often get a hug, too, because the guy who has it says, "Oh, I saw you last year at Waseca, or you were here at Morristown with your pillows." He really knows his customers, and he's just a fun guy to work with. And again, it's a service. Because it's not something that our women's group makes a great deal of money out of, but people they need their pillows cleaned, and so it's nice to be able to have it a couple times in town here.
And you use those funds for things at church?
Oh, again, it's at First English for Welka, and our Welka group at the end of the year, we get about $7,000 or $8,000, and we look where can we give that money. Most of it goes in the community. And so we've helped
St. Vincent de Paul.
St. Vincent and the Hope Center. We've helped just a lot of the projects that are here in town. And so there's a fund that's in our vicinity that helps people pay their electric bill or gas bill if they can't afford it.
Yeah.
Project Neighbor. And so, again, it's something that we don't keep the money at, but it's just fun to sit down at the end of the year and say, where can we give this? Who can we help?
Local missions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Missions can be locally as well as, across the world.
I'm sure you're like me. Daily, I get probably 6 or 8 letters asking for money, mostly nationally. And I really like giving it locally, including some of them where I get a mailing, like Salvation Army, you get out of the cities. I actually went directly to Salvation Army and wrote my check to them there because I wanted to stay in Faribault.
Right.
Because I think that really helps our community and all those things do good beyond us. And we were talking this morning, what would you do if you got $51 million in the lottery like some guy got? What would you really do with that? And, I know Don and I have talked about that before. It's like, well, who can we help? Because money ain't going to make you happy.
No, and you'd have plenty anyway.
Yes.
So, there's no way you'd spend $51 million, right?
Well, there are people that have. But I think anytime you look at what you can do, what good can you do with it, it changes the perspective and makes everybody happy, and the money goes farther.
Now, if you were to win 50, you'd probably $30 million. It would probably go to Uncle Sam and the state.
And you'd use the rest to buy tickets for this style show.
$25 a ticket. That's a lot of tickets.
It would be, yeah.
You could have a little tip on it.
I don't know if you have enough room to fit that many people at the Faribault American Legion. Let's hope it's packed, though.
Yeah, we want to fill it up.
Yeah.
Are tickets going well?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think because, too, with the strange weather we've had, people haven't thought spring, and so
say that again.
So let's think spring. Let's get our winter clothes put away. Let's look at some spring outfits.
And I thank you for being willing to have us on the radio today.
Oh, yeah.
Some people will be listening and hearing about it. And we saw the tickets were kind of going slow, and then this week they've really expanded. So I think the word has gotten out, and I know there's a whole Red Hat group that's going to come, and so it'll be fun for us who are going to be there, too, and not having to be models, being able to watch. And it's going to be a sea of yellow. It's going to be a spring event.
I'm going to change the topic just a second here. I saw, when I was researching for the program today, a picture of some middle school students who knitted some blankets for babies up at District 1, and I thought, how cool is that?
Yes.
Oh, that warms my heart.
Isn't that awesome?
And I think a lot of things like that, I know at church we're always looking, how can we involve young people? Because I know we were talking about, how did you learn to be generous? And I said, my parents taught it. It was way back in the beginning. And I think you need to be teaching that all the time and teaching service, because it's not just money. A lot of times we have things where people, they need another person or a kid or whatever to really do that. And
well, it's biblical, too.
Time
talk
and
about
talent.
the church. Mm-hmm. It's biblical. Tithing isn't just giving money.
No.
Giving of time as well.
And we have fun. I have to say at our board meetings when we look at where we can help, it's great. And great to know that we can do that, because we have plenty ourselves. And both being retired or tired sometimes, there are days that you're going from one volunteer event to another, playing a role, and that's good.
$75 is a lifetime membership to be a member of your auxiliary.
Mm-hmm. Or you can volunteer 20 hours during the year, and you're automatically a member. So people who might volunteer at other things that we have at the hospital, they would all automatically become a auxiliary member for doing service every year.
If you don't want a lifetime membership, it's $20 for a year.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And we really just have a big annual meeting every year, and then the rest of it is really doing some of our events, and we've had some fun program kinds of things for the members.
And the accessory sale.
Yeah, the accessory sale that we just had, which again we thank people who came to that because we we made over $2,000 on selling used purses, clothing, or purses. And jewelry, and I mean that's fabulous to think people in town give us this stuff and we repurpose it.
It is a great deal. Thanks, Pat and Donna, for coming by today.
Thank
Again,
you.
that's Saturday, May 5th at the Faribault American Legion.
Right.
Again, tomorrow we'll talk about the High Flyers. Boy, quite a class, the second class. What a great idea that is, too. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on KDHLAM Faribault, Minnesota.